thanks to a new mandate in the Golden State, requiring most middle schools to start no earlier than 8 a.m.
Several states are pushing for a later start to the school day to address the mental health crisis facing children across the country.
This past May, which is only a couple of months ago, the state of Florida also discussed and passed the legislation that mandated school starting times similar to California, so that the high schools cannot start any earlier than 8:30, middle schools can't start any earlier than 8 o'clock.
You know, it actually started with a conversation with the superintendent from Buffalo. Buffalo was going through the process, and so I started to take a closer look at it. I really looked at the research that had been done by the University of Minnesota, and I looked at alignment. You know, if you take a look at what we say we are as a school district, a couple of things that not just me, my predecessors, Eric after me, have said. You know, student safety and student achievement are two key things. They're the most important things that we do.
Learning about all of the different reasons throughout, the task force meetings, and hearing from different, educators, hearing from different health experts, hearing from, other families and other people in the community and what their needs are, and trying to really work with the task force. I think they did an excellent job at working together to try to, kind of minimize those impacts and make them feel less detrimental.
Serving in the school start time task force really opened my eyes to the depth and community that we have here in Monticello. It showed me that no matter what we do with our start times and what changes are made, it's going to have pretty big ripples, and it's going to affect a lot of different areas in our community, our schools, and our families.
And so when you take a look at this start time piece, it's something that's very easy to do in a certain way, but you hit both of those areas because you are keeping students more safe and you are impacting student achievement in a positive way.
There's a lot of really, good benefits that I do see. We heard from doctors and we heard from educators, and I think we also heard from high school students, middle school students, and elementary students. And I think one of the biggest impacts is actually going to be on students' mental health, not in the way that we originally intended. So originally the start time was suggested because we were looking at sleep, and then we started to look at, okay, what's our overall workload and stress? And we realized that we had one of the longest days in our state, and we managed to kind of move that down, take the stress load off students, and I think that's a huge benefit.
We know that students need to be focused when they're in classes, and we know that reducing the amount of time that they're in the classrooms is going to help support that. We also know that pushing back those start times is going to help our students to focus more in classes. So we should see an increase in our students' academic performance and their overall mental health.
Well, I think for secondary students, when you take a look at that one, again, you take a look at just what we know about their sleep cycle and things like that through research, and their ability to be attentive, things like that. So from a safety standpoint, again, even just literally getting to school, a lot of our kids drive, so just that attentiveness while they drive, that's a piece. Academic achievement wise, they're going to be much more engaged if they have proper rest and things like that.
Students that have adequate sleep have less depression, less tendency to use drugs, cigarettes, and alcohol. They get better grades. They do better in sports. They are in less car accidents because they are not falling asleep at the wheel and they're not running into us on the road or into the ditch and causing a car accident.
We know that some of the changes maybe aren't going to impact all families in a positive way, or might impact certain families in a hard way in some ways. But we also know that there's going to be so many more opportunities, and we've learned of so many different positive opportunities we're going to have by changing these start times and allowing for some more flexibility in our family schedules and our staff schedules.
It's been really enlightening, and I think that, even as is, we've made it as good as we possibly can, trying to get the most benefit for the most students and kind of keeping that every kid, every day thing in mind. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be challenges. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be hard. It's not going to, mean growing pains. But I'm hoping that the work that we did made it as good as it possibly can be.